This program contains crazy material, including offensive language. Listening discretion is advised.
Welcome to a VO's Padded Room podcast. So put on your straitjackets and join Big Jim and Brad Storm as they probe inside the mind of a new guest each week. So strap up and let's do this.
Our guest this week on a VO's Padded Room podcast was literally doing voiceover before he knew what voiceover was. Former frontman for the heavy metal hip-hop band Fleshy Headed Mutants. Our guest now works full-time in the voiceover industry, putting his skills to the test. Our guest has voiced spots for Subaru, Corona, Spotify, and White Castle, to name a few. And his passion for die-cast metal will make your head spin. It's time to get strapped in the padded room, because Charlie Toro, you are locked in and mic'd up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? How you guys doing? Doing okay?
Hey, buddy, how's it going,
It's going
man?
okay, man. It's just, it's a wonderful time being here. I like it. I love it. I love it a lot.
Just chilling, huh?
It's Brad Storm and Big Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Loving it, guys.
Put you
Loving it.
I like that.
Charlie,
Yes, sir.
it's a pleasure having you here in the padded room.
Pleasure to be
And,
here.
you send us your bio, and, you talk about a lot of awesome things, and we're going to get to that.
Okay.
But I want to take you way, 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 way back when you were not a toddler, but a young child, and you're trying to figure your way through the world. And what got you interested in playing music? What got you interested in being behind a mic?
That would be my mom and grandmother constantly watching Elvis Presley on the TV and going, Charlie, get in front of the television and dance like Elvis. Go, do it now. I'm like, oh, God, here we go again. So, it was Elvis. It was Elvis, that's for sure. And from there, it's history, I think. Or
What
how
was
to
your
make it
favorite?
history? Trying to, anyway.
What was your favorite Elvis song?
My favorite Elvis song was Jailhouse Rock when I was a kid.
Can you give us a little snippet? Possibly?
No.
Not tonight.
No.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So you're going through your teenage years, and you decide to get involved in music. What made you pick up an instrument and get behind the mic?
Well, when I was going to college, I was like, man, I need something to do while I'm not doing college stuff. So I picked up a guitar. I had already been playing drums for like 10 years at that time, but I couldn't bring my drum set into the dorm room.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So picked up the guitar, started playing. It came pretty easy to me, and quit. I didn't actually quit college. College quit on me. They literally closed their doors down on us. And we all drive up to go to school, and the doors are locked, and we're like, what the hell? So I ended up coming back home, starting a band, and went from there.
How old were you then?
When I started a band, I was, 20 years old.
20 years old. And you put ads in the paper looking for other musicians?
Yeah, everywhere.
How did that go for you? Because I know I was in a band back in my 20s too, man. And it was so hard to, first of all, find a drummer that could keep time. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and the drummer's like the man in the band. He's the one that everyone has to follow. So drummer has to be really good and good head on his shoulders. And it's very hard to find those drummers, I'm telling you.
Yeah, because exactly. You got to be focused. You got to be in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And, learning that instrument at a young age, that had to help you as far as, like you said, picking up other instruments and in voiceover.
Right.
Because your voice is an instrument, right?
Right. I always look to my instrument as I look to my voice as an instrument too, so I always think about keys and notes on the guitar, when I'm doing a audition all the time. I'm always thinking about tones. So it comes a little easier to me, especially if like the casting director or something gives me the music bed. If I hear the music bed, I can capture that tone really good. I wish they would all do that. That would be great.
Hey, Charlie, when you think about it too, like the music bed is the drums.
Yeah.
Kind of for voiceover, right? Because it sets the tone, it gets you in the groove, and you can find where you fit in.
Yeah, you can drop yourself right in there, man, with the right tone. Especially if you're a musician, you've been working with tones forever. It's like it's super easy to just drop right in there.
Another thing I noticed too, in music, there's a lot of tempo changes.
Right.
Some bands do a lot of that, and some bands do a little bit.
Right.
But with your voiceover too, in promo work, you got to be able to, vary that voice. You got to have different tempos,
Right.
and it can't be all the same, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's what brings me to my favorite video of yours, brother. The Voice Industry Blues. Epic. It was epic, bro. Have you seen it, Brad? It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Hoping to do that again sometime. And definitely have you guys in there for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the way we like it. Talk about the heavy metal hip hop band, the Fleshy Headed Mutants. You put the ads in the paper. You got everybody together. How was your first couple of practices?
First couple of practices was pretty crazy because the first drummer we had was a nutcase. So it didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
And we kept fooling ourselves going, oh, we're killer, we're great, until we got a really good drummer, then we really knew that, man, we'll follow this dude with the way he's playing. Oh my God. So once we started playing, I told the guys we need to just practice for a year and just be badass as hell and come out badass as hell. And everyone's like, man, come on. We just want to play right now. I'm like,
where's the babes?
Let's not do this. Let's not do it half-ass, man. Let's just go out there and kick ass. Let's kick ass here in practice and then go out and kick ass.
Yeah.
So they listened. And the first concert we ever did was a Hardcore Wars contest with all kinds of bands from all over Florida. And we were winning every one of those contests, and it came down to the wire, and we won the whole entire thing. Got recording contracts with people locally to do recordings in their studios for free and all kinds of stuff. And that was a pretty crazy time. And we used to open up for a lot of great bands that are probably still around today. That was a long time ago, actually.
I noticed you had some hip hop added to your music back then. Was someone like ICP part of your influences or no?
Those guys weren't even around when we were playing. No. Most of the hip hop bands that are metal today were not around when we were playing.
I remember Biohazard was doing stuff like that, and I think Skatenigs, that was another one back in the day. Huh?
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Charlie, the first time you went into the studio had to be, an eye-opening experience. It was for me. What did you learn, and what did you take from those experiences to implement into your voiceover career?
I've spent a lot of time in the studio. I learned a lot about studio time, being in the studio and what happens in the studio and etiquette and all that good stuff.
Right.
Recording in the studio taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about, literally readied me for the voiceover industry without even knowing it, of course. And just everything about a studio was very, very eye-opening. The first studio we went into was the same studio that Molly Hatchet recorded.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, Molly Hatchet recording here. And for the kids out there, Molly Hatchet, you probably don't know who they are. But anyways, and they were big time when I was, that age. And we were freaking out that we were in the same studio that these guys and Blackfoot and all those guys used to record it. And it was just, you left with a good taste in your mouth.
Yeah, that's, those got to be experiences you take with you to the grave. And
oh yeah.
It shows in the work and what you do now, which, always blows my mind, how much of a master you are at your craft, and you're always working on it too. And I have a lot of respect for that. Yeah. But it came down to an introduction to the voiceover industry. And you say you were doing voiceover before you even knew what voiceover was. Right. Why don't you touch on that?
Well, when I was playing in a band, we had club owners that knew I had a pretty good voice and they wanted to use it, but didn't tell me anything about voiceover. So every time we would do a sound check on stage, everyone's checking their instruments and stuff. The club owner would come up and say, hey, Charlie, here's a script. Can you just say it on the mic real quick? And then he would go over to the sound man and have him record me. I didn't know I was being recorded.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, I'm driving down the road, I'm hearing my voice on the radio. I'm like, what the hell? Didn't I just do that at the club during sound check?
Yeah.
So I go to the club owner and he's like, oh yeah, I put it on the radio. And me not knowing anything about voiceover or being a career, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. I like hearing my voice on the radio. Oh, you want to do it some more? Yeah. So every time we would play, he would do that. And that just went out of control. because after that, all the other club owners got wind of that and they're like, oh, Charlie's doing free ads. Okay, we're gonna have him do it for our club too. You know? So I was doing it all the time.
Yeah.
So two friends of mine who worked at a college radio station caught wind of that. And they were like, hey, you want to come down, do some interviews and stuff? And I hate interviews. I'd rather get interrogated. You know.
Oh, great.
But anyways.
Great.
So they invite me down to the radio station, go down there. And back then I used to just like getting imports and recording them on cassettes. Kids, cassettes are this thing that's, never mind. And we used to record on cassette, all the imports on cassettes, because you could never find these import albums and stuff. So they used to invite me over there to, you know, just hang around and do some interviews and talk on the radio with them and record some stuff and go home. So it got to the point where they're like, hey, you want to record some commercials for the radio? I'm like, sure, why not? So I'd stay there hour after hour recording stuff on those old carts, you know?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where it started. And I still didn't know a damn thing about voiceover at that point, you know, because I was still playing in a band.
Yeah.
And these guys were inviting me every week to the studio, to the radio station. And that's pretty much where it started. And then a friend of mine started hearing all those commercials on the radio. And he's like, dude, I didn't know you were doing voiceover. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I didn't either.
What's voiceover, man? And he's like, voice acting, man. You know, commercials. Oh, yeah. I did some radio ads.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I need to talk to you about voiceover. So he's the guy who literally schooled me on voiceover and what I needed to do. And he needed a voice for his infomercial. He had a gas bottle that didn't spill no matter what you did with it.
Oh, cool.
And he needed a voice for it. And I was like, cool, give me a script. And he's like, I don't have a script. I'm like, you're kidding me. I got some bullet points. I got some bullet points here, and you can write a script. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. For first time writing a script, first time doing voiceover, you know, the real way. And then he hands me $500, and I was like, whoa, I could make money doing this. Are you kidding me? So that was the big eye opener, because I had just gotten out of a band when that happened. And I was like, what am I going to do now?
I want to touch on this too for the listeners. And you did those voiceovers for free for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
5
like
years
you
I
said,
was doing voiceover for free.
Yeah,
everywhere.
you were rocking out stadiums and stuff. So you weren't even thinking twice about it, but you did learn some valuable skills to put in your toolbox.
Right. Yeah.
But like with everything, we all have our other hobbies, you know. Big Jim and I, we like to play some video games from time to time. And awesome. You like doing something in particular, and you started doing that with only $1.
Oh yeah, that was after getting into voiceover. I wasn't into it full time or anything like that, and I seen this video online of some guy taking apart a little Hot Wheel car and just putting tires and stuff. I was like, you know what? I do airbrushing. Why don't I go to the store, grab one of these cars, take it apart, see if I can put some of my designs on there and see if I could sell it, see what happens.
Yeah.
So I did that. And the first car I sold for like $400. It was a little car that I bought for $1, and I just airbrushed it. And I was freaking out. I was like, wait a minute, is this another business I just stepped into?
Yeah.
So I started doing it more and more and more. And then I started putting some pictures I started using decals and airbrushing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I started using adult looking pictures of women on top of cars, and I would sell them as the adult Hot Wheels line.
Nice.
For adults. So that started selling off really good. And then an artist who I kind of stole one of those pictures from, I didn't know anything about copyrights or anything back then.
Yeah.
And
no one did.
So she contacts me and she's like, hey, you're using some of my artwork. You need to stop doing that. I'm like, okay. So I stopped doing it. She comes back a week later. She's like, hey, you want to go into business together, do what you were doing before? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So she started sending me artwork, and we started sharing artwork and doing artwork for the cars. And we were making prototypes, like 5 cars only. So that's what made them worth so much.
Limited edition.
Yes, all limited edition Hot Wheel cars that we would airbrush with my artwork and her artwork together. And we would sell them all over the world and at Hot Wheel contests and stuff like that. And we were making some good money, man. And then 2008, went to shit. Everything went to shit, and everything skyrocketed in price. So we just dropped it right there because it was just too much to handle.
Yeah. Were you traveling? You said
right
you were
back
traveling.
into voiceover.
You were traveling all over the world with these?
No, we weren't traveling. Our cars were going all over the world. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, man.
That's like you said, some things that fall in your lap, but at the same token, man, you're very talented in that aspect too.
Thank you, brother.
Not everybody can pick up, do you paint them or you airbrush those cars? What do you do?
Airbrush, yeah.
Wow,
airbrush.
That takes some friggin' patience and a steady hand.
Big time, yeah.
I
used to have to wear like bifocals. Just, it's crazy, man.
Holy crap.
My girlfriend used to sit there watching me going, what are you doing? You're just like this every night,
Yeah, and I can't even play Operation without fucking it up. Damn.
We move along on this journey, and you're pursuing voiceover, and these contests come about. Now, I want you to talk to me about these contests. Like, when were they happening? And you always were getting your hand raised on a lot of these. So why don't you touch on that?
There were a bunch of voiceover and guitar contests on a website called Indycom. It was probably around 10 years ago, I think.
Okay.
The years have been going by so fast.
Telling me, brother.
It's probably around 10 years ago. And what was happening there was they would have a challenge for voiceover and a challenge actually I had challenges for everything, acting, anything you could think of that had a challenge. That's all the website was. And they would have industry insiders that would come in and like coaches and stuff and check out the talent and do the judging.
Okay.
And so for every contest that you won first place in, you would win $500. And if the coach liked you and picked you as judge's pick, that's another $500. So every week I made sure to be on that website with my guitar and my voiceover to try to win that money. And then I did. I started winning like a good $3,000 to $5,000 a week sometimes on that website. And sometimes monthly, depending on if they had more of those, because sometimes they would have two at a time, 2 guitar contests at a time, or 2 voiceover contests at a time.
Yeah.
And that I ended up literally making that my job to where I was winning contests all the time. And that's how I got all my equipment in the studio because I had no money for anything in the studio back then. And just doing that kind of fell in my lap too. And I was like, man, this is great. And then they figured out algorithms. And they were like, okay, we're going to make sure this guy loses every single time because you would win from votes and judges. So once the votes started coming in, the very last week I was there, all my votes wouldn't come in. And I knew everyone who was voting for me. I was telling people to vote for me and their votes wouldn't be showing up and all my votes would be going down instead of up. And we figured they got algorithms on there.
They rigged the system.
And so then I talked to some people that actually work there and they told me, they don't like you winning too much, Charlie, so they're going to make sure you don't win anymore. I'm like, great. It's great.
Like being at the casino.
Right. So I gave that up and walked away.
Well, that's always a good experience though. I mean, it's too bad they don't, I know they do some contests here and there. You got to dig and you got to find them. That's the important thing. But touch real quick, touch on the importance of putting yourself out there, because if you don't, some people are very timid and like, oh, I'm unsure of myself. But I think if you just get the cojones or whatever you need to get out there, you need to find those answers out.
Right. And I'm a introvert big time. And the thing that has helped me get out of that shell is the internet. So I literally try to put myself out there as much as I possibly can now, because you have to stay top of mind in this game. You have to. Yeah. Because if you're not, nobody knows who the hell you are, especially if you try to introduce yourself. Who the hell are you? They haven't seen you already. You want to make sure that your face is constantly out there, that you're not your face, but your talent is constantly being produced out there for people to constantly be seen. And I don't mean in weird ways or anything like that. It took a while for me to figure out what I needed to do. And what I do, I wouldn't say everyone do, because everyone has their way of doing things and marketing and stuff that works for them. What I do works for me. And there are things that I won't do that other people do because it just doesn't work for me. Uh-oh.
Let the games begin.
the games begin. Let the games begin. That's right, it's time for another round of VO's Padded Improv. We have a Micro Machine script today, written by the folks at Robot Chicken. We're going to let you pick the voice you want, so when you're ready, the mic is yours.
Okay, let's see what kind of voice I want to pick for this. All right, here we go. Micro Machines Man here to tell you about the genuine, original, marvelous, majestic Micro Machines Street Zapper Colossal Collection.
Yes.
Make these cars zoom and vroom, veer and steer, jump and bump, flip and fly. Micro Machines Man used to own a 1965 Mustang convertible,
Yes.
but his wickedly witch-defying wife took it and everything he owned in a shockingly sadistic divorce left yours truly emasculated. Devoid of testicles, nada, nothing but an endless empty scrotum swaying between his legs like a portentous pendulum, tick-tock taking away the fleeting remains of yesterday's youth, vim and vigor. One more pointless product you can't take with you to the grave.
Yes. That was good stuff. That was awesome, brother. Awesome.
Oh, man.
Thank
I have to tell you, Charlie,
You guys put me on the spot with that one, man.
we put everybody on the spot.
That was fun.
Hey, Charlie, I wanted to dig into our topic of the show, which is effective marketing strategies. And, we did talk about, how you're an introvert, but the internet helped you out. It helped you be creative and put out some awesome content. Please elaborate to maybe people that are just starting up with their strategies, what they need to focus on and how they can get it done.
Well, like I said before, I think what everyone should be focusing on is just being present, being out there, putting your ass out there all the time, putting your ass out on the line, breaking shit. You know what I'm saying? Doing the best you could possibly do and put it out there.
Yeah.
Don't put anything half-ass out there. Just be professional, put it out there. In my case, I don't do a lot of marketing strategies that a lot of people do. I do a lot of phone work. I don't do that much email work because to me, it's not that personable. So I do a lot of phone work for people, and that's basically all I do. And on top of that, I do a lot of video work. I like to take what I've done and video myself doing it. So,
All right now, put down the Jack Daniels.
Right.
I video myself when I think about you.
And that works for me. That works for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that'll work for everybody, but it does work for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I get noticed by doing that. I mean, that's how Toyota found me doing that on LinkedIn. I've been meeting a lot of great people on LinkedIn that I will be working with soon too. I don't know if I should say his name, but I will. His name is Dave Knoll, and he is a game show creator.
Nice.
And he's created all the killer game shows that you see on TV right now. And the guy's a really, really nice guy. And he came to one of my posts and he's like, wow, you're incredible. And he's like, me and his partner's name is Cleve. He's like, I'm going to show Cleve this and we're going to keep this and use you one day. And we've been in literal constant contact every day ever since. And what we're going to be doing is he's going to be using me for his pitches. And he's going to be pitching his shows to networks and stuff using my voice. So that's what LinkedIn can bring you, very odd jobs like that, or very cool jobs, depending on where you put yourself and who you put yourself in front of. And in that case, I didn't put myself in front of anybody. It's just me putting my stuff out there, and he actually seen it. And then, voila, we got a relationship going.
Yeah.
So sometimes it comes, and sometimes you really got to do the footwork to get
It's
it.
just like a fishing rod, and you put it out there in the water, and you see what sticks. Or
Yeah. And what works really good for me, and I'm sure it'll work good for everyone, is using the recorder on LinkedIn.
yeah,
When you use the recorder, you just press record and record your voice. And when people hear your voice,
yeah,
they think that's great. That's great, because nobody does that. And, you text somebody will see it and whatever, they probably won't even respond. But when you say something that makes them want to respond back and say, hey, thanks for the note,
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I found that it does work great for me.
That's something I'm going to implement because I mean, honestly, I didn't realize I could send recorded messages. I mean, maybe that's me being oblivious to that, but this is why we do this podcast so we can learn new things too.
Hell yeah.
And I appreciate that bit of knowledge because I would rather get a message than just like somebody looking at my profile and picking a piece out of there and putting it. Oh, I see that you attended Oxford Academy. Well, that's fantastic.
I'll tell you, it's awesome though. I don't know. One time I had that second COVID shot and I had to reschedule. Wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
I got a message from my old Charlie there, and
yeah, man,
it was personable. It was awesome, man. It almost made me tear up a little bit there.
Love you, Jim, man.
Hey, Charlie, you had some tough times recently. Do you want to touch on those?
Well, I've lost all of my family, and I am an orphan now at 54 years old. Go figure. But yeah, it's been a real trying time for the past, I'd say, 12 years. I mean, a lot of people in my family have died, and really horrific ways, and it gets to the point where it eats at you every day. And this is why I literally cannot rest and cannot sleep, because I'm trying not to think about it.
Yeah.
And I keep myself busy constantly all the time, so I try not to think about it. But it always comes back as soon as you go to the dinner table and start watching a little TV. You're not even watching TV. You're thinking about them. So it's a weird thing.
Oh God. Yeah. I feel the same way. That's why I don't watch TV anymore. Hardly. I'm like, you're just thinking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, sleep is not one of those things that is, 7 hours of sleep. It's like, oh, you get that. And you're like, oh my God, praise the Lord.
Yeah. I can't believe I got that last night.
Yeah.
Or last night. Did I say last night? That was a couple hours.
It was a couple hours ago. Damn. You need a cup of.
Just shows you where I'm at. What day is it?
You need a cup of coffee. Hey, did you take any classes on After Effects at all?
No. Everything that I have ever done or ever do or ever will do has been hands-on. I'm a hands-on type of guy. If I get an application, I won't ask for help. I won't go look for some videos. I will try to figure it out myself, read whatever, and get it done that way. And then if I can't, then I'll go check out some videos and try to learn how to do some stuff. But everything is hands-on for me.
Yeah.
From voiceover to this. And whenever I get coaching, I try to do it at the times where I think I need it the most,
Yeah.
And I'm sure if it was, up to the coaches, they'd be going, Charlie, you need coaching every damn day. But when I need it, I get it. Like right before I was just doing a demo with Chuck Duran, I figured I need some coaching for promo.
Yeah.
So I got Mark Ryder to do it. Who else?
Oh yeah.
To get you to coach you for promo right now, but the guy who's doing most of the promos right now.
Right.
So I figured I'd get Mark, and that was great. Mark is really great coach.
Like we always say, this community is so helpful.
Yeah.
And so positive in so many ways.
It's the best industry to work in the world, man. Love it.
And I believe in the fact that, you always want to be a perpetual student, just like Domingo Castillo always would say too.
Right.
You always want to be a perpetual student. You always want to be learning.
Right.
And when you enjoy what you're doing, and you got to find like certain areas, like I found out that I like, the audio engineering side a lot. I like creating things out of nothing, or creating sound pieces or what have you.
Sound design. Yeah.
And unless you do those things, unless you venture out and try different things, you never realize these things.
Right.
So
you never
it could take a long time. It could take a while to figure it out.
But it's fun. It's fun to figure it out, and you get that feeling of, accomplishment when you do it.
Yes.
Yeah, and the pride. It feels good when it's done.
What would you tell yourself, your younger self, if you could, change something that you missed out on evolving through your career? What would you tell your younger self to watch out for?
Watch out for those club owners that are making you do those damn scripts, Charlie, for 5 years. That's what I would tell myself. Go back there and get paid, would you?
Yeah.
That's what I would say for sure.
Yeah, when you're young, I was like, when I was a ring announcer at a young age too, there was a lot of places where we got taken advantage of. And
oh yeah, and in the music business to me and the voiceover business is kind of the same.
Yeah.
Because you have people that are great people in this industry, and then you have people who, really want to take from you. And you gotta really watch out for those people. And some of these people can be the nicest people in the world.
Right.
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 So, I mean, look, we're actors, right?
Right on. What did COVID do to your business? Did it help it out or did it make it worse?
Well, I've lost a couple of clients with COVID, and that was pretty tough. And then all my local clients that weren't paying me for those 5 years came back, and they're like, "We'll pay you now." So I was like, "Cool." Not all of them, but some of them. So like, "Cool."
Show me the money.
So it's not much has changed, but it went down at first, and now it's just really picking up. So nothing's really changed for me that much. Where I live in Florida,
Yeah.
and it's pretty lack here. It's pretty slack here, man.
Yeah.
And nobody's wearing masks. I mean, some people are. If you're fearful, you're wearing masks. If you're not, you don't care in Florida. And it feels good to live in Florida doing that, because the rest of the country is going through some shit that I think we shouldn't have to, because of how things are being run. I mean, look, we're listening. We're paying attention to unelected officials right now. Really? Should we? That's how I think of it. So I try to stay away from politics, try to stay away from everything else, and just
Me too.
stay voiceover, man, as much as I
Yeah.
can.
Just stay busy in the craft that you love. And
Right.
that is key.
I'm literally in this booth all day long, man. I think I see my girlfriend like 2 hours a day.
I mean, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Yeah. It's a little sacrifice, man, to gain. Got to do it.
You got to balance your time out, but yeah, the grind, it's not, it's not so much a grind. If once you get it down to a science and it's working for you, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
And our time has come to an end, bro. I just want to,
Man.
I just want,
Can we do another hour?
I know, I wish.
we can always do part 2.
And next time we're going to have to do this live, though, with some brewskis and everything.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Hell yeah. We'd like to get a beer sponsor here down the road. That'd be excellent.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, do you want to make a shout out to anybody in particular? And do you want to plug your social media accounts? Go right ahead.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate being on the show, man. Give my shout out to everybody out there. I love all you guys out there in the voiceover industry. I don't care who you are. I really don't even care if you hate my guts. I love you. And here's where you can find me. On LinkedIn, it's just Charlie Toro. You can find me there. On Twitter, it's @Toro_Charlie. On Facebook, it's @Charlie Toro Voiceover. And on Instagram, it's @Charlie Toro VO. I don't know why everything's different, but I'm going to try to make everything the same sometime. And that's where you can find me.
What about you, Jim?
Find out more about me at bigjimmedia.com or on Facebook and LinkedIn @BigJimMedia. How about you, Brad?
Hey, you guys can follow me on my website, bradstormvo.com, bradstormvo on Instagram, Twitter, Bradstorm Voiceover on Facebook, and Bradstorm on YouTube. And you can check out a VO's Padded Room podcast on Captivate, Spotify, Stitcher, Ghana, and YouTube as well. Rate us 5 stars, share, subscribe, and do whatever else you like to do.
Just remember, when the day gets long and shit gets real, you gotta
Punch every day in the face.
In the face.
Yeah.
Brad Storm and Big Jim. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.